Hey, all you fine folks out there in YouTuber land. Welcome to the very last political rant for the year 2023. Another year that will no doubt live in infamy, in my humble opinion. Thank the Lord it is finally over. But as you know, I usually record the end of my podcast, Gary Talks 2, from the world headquarters of the Gary Talks empire here, where I'm planning my evil domination of the world. And then I post it here as a political rant. But the podcast has taken the rest of the year off and has gone down to the beach. Won't tell me where exactly. So here's one that's just for you guys. Aren't you lucky? But before we break an arm patting ourselves on the back for surviving such a tumultuous year, you should know that, and again, in my humble opinion, 2024 will undoubtedly be worse in almost every single way. The hatred, the division, the victimhood, which I find pathetic, the unbridled lying and deception from all those in the MAGA Nazi camp will be greatly magnified, as I believe they see that if they lose in November, now it will pretty much be over for them. Lost in 2020, they lose in 24. They'll scurry back into their little underground lairs and plot the next insurrection. So I say good friggin' riddance to all those guys, and hopefully they'll find peace down in their little burrows in the ground. One of those centers of hate and lies is my old nemesis and target, the fine folks at PragerU. Now, you've heard me rant on about them. I don't know if you saw it recently, but their lies and propaganda were recently covered by the NBC Evening News, which I was quite shocked to see, especially NBC. I always considered them sort of leaning towards Trump. But I have to tell you, I needed a shower this morning after listening to a couple hours of their unmitigated filth, and it left me feeling slimy, to be honest. You are so lucky that you have me to do it for you. But if you do want to learn more about the people who are working very, very hard to drag us back to some mythical past that was wonderful and perfect in every single way, unless you're a black or a woman, of course, then go to their site at www.prageru.com and see for yourself the threat that these hypocrites and deceivers want to force on your children. Then go take a long hot shower. Trust me on this. You'll need it. So anyway, the Prager boys, I should say, are proud frackers of the earth, poisoning water tables and damaging buildings all over Texas and Oklahoma and probably beyond. Ever seen one of those little videos where somebody turns on the tap and holds a match down there and fire shoots out? Well, you can thank the Prager boys for that. Them and their oil at any cost ilk. So today, I listened to another victim. Sorry I have to do this so much, but I do quote a lot of this stuff. I listened to another victim whining about how he was driven out of the University of Alabama for his views on climate change. If you listen to this disgustingly cloying bit of whining, you too will probably come away with the feeling that this guy probably shouldn't be teaching young folks in the first place. He said some incredibly stupid shit like how the meritocracy of his past was replaced by judging someone, quote, by their life story in an essay. He needed a, quote, standardized metric to be able to, quote, judge a student. So listening and talking to them wasn't going to cut it. No. He needed a standardized metric that we all know is racially prejudiced. He also went on to say that fundraising for his university, and by that extension I assume he meant all universities, was based on what a student looked like or their race. Poor white guy. You must feel so deprived. Climate change is tricky, he went on to say, and activist scientists have been pushing such dark doomsday scenarios that his students think the world will end in 10 or 20 years. Yeah, okay. This fear is, again, I quote, damaging the mental health of young people. And that, get this is my favorite part of his whole bullshit tirade, delivered very softly. Quote, climate science is a way for the government to get involved in every aspect of citizens' life. Can you believe that crap? That's just yet another quote from these very, very fine folks. He spewed a bunch of drivel. It was like an 8-minute video. Felt more like 800 minutes, but I only have time for the highlights here because I don't want to keep you from your busy day. There was another by a young woman, singer, who said that the act of getting married was the most rebellious act of her life. Woof. Why? Because someone said she shouldn't when she was 21. What an ass biter. You know, I got to remember these people constantly push the sanctity of marriage, which I don't have anything against, but they also say that the wife must be subservient, have sex with the husband whenever he demands it, and that the man has a right to discipline his wife if she doesn't. So that's who they are. Another one of these things is titled, and I'm not making this up either, this is a quote, "They hate your Christmas joy." I'll say it again. They hate your Christmas joy. There's that they thing again, something all MAGA Nazis run to when they can't define what it is that they hate exactly so much. Keep in mind, folks, their whole lives revolve around their hatred of people like me and probably people like you, or you wouldn't be watching. No compromising, no discussion, no debate, none of that. You agree with them 1,000%, or you are the enemy. And folks, what does one do with an enemy? You hate them and you destroy them. I could go on, but then I'd need to go take another shower and I'm getting a little chapped. So instead, I put together a bunch of their title pages here for your perusal. I didn't make any of this crap up. There are some really hateful doozies in here, really hateful. Their favorite target for their hatred is the trans community. They hate kids. Just hate them. Hate them. They absolutely go apeshit on the subject. It's kind of funny to watch. Everyone's so sad. I hasten to add that there's a trans kid in my family who is loved and accepted and supported in every way. And you know why? Because that's what decent people do. My own personal belief on this subject, as far as they're concerned, is that they are so unsure of their own sexuality that they fear any and all discussions on the subject. Like the man said, I may be wrong, but I may be right. Shout out to Billy Joel for that. I did, as I was going through all this stuff, and I looked really hard, something that was quite unexpected. The episode where they proclaim that, and I'm quoting here again, slavery wasn't so bad and it was better than being dead, is vanished after drawing some unwanted media attention. I can't imagine why, unless maybe Nikki Haley asked them to remove it. I don't know. Their other favorite targets are anyone, and I do mean anyone, including a child's parents, who argues that the climate change is probably changing, or the climate is changing, probably because of human activity. You will notice several tiles with that theme here, several. My very favorite is a real gut grabber called A World Without Fossil Fuels, wherein the narrator proclaims certain societal collapse and death would occur immediately unless we keep pumping oil and making the Prager boys even more rich. It's pretty rich to me. They said that anyone who says that the climate is changing because of human actions is lying, even if it's the kids' parents. On the one hand, they talk about how The parents are to be held up and esteemed by the children, but they're liars if they go against the Praegers. So I get shades of Mao in the Red Guard in that one. And if I can give another little shout out to my one of my heroes, Tommy Smothers, he and his brother Dick were my heroes. They still are. And in the 60s, and very early 60s, they did a parody of a song called the John Birch Society, if any of you remember them or have heard of them. And it went like this. Excuse my voice. I'm a little raspy. Because we're the John Birch Society, the John Birch Society. If your mommy is a commie, then you gotta turn her in. So they'll break up a family and destroy the trust between parents and children if they can make a buck off it. So anyway, let's cheer up. Without further ado, here are some of the tiles they show for their indoctrination videos. And I hasten to add again, as I've said many, many times, that's their word for what they're doing, indoctrination. It's not my word. I mean, I agree with them. It's the only thing I do agree with them on. They are indoctrinating children in the sickest of ways. So I'll see you on the other side. Hope you can stick it out without losing your lunch. So that's it for me for this eventful year. I hope to see you all again in the new year to continue this conversation about the threats our nation, and more importantly, our children, are going to be facing if the fascists win. And don't kid yourself, they very well may. So I'll leave you with this thought. Vote. Volunteer. Talk to your neighbors. Even the one with the Trump 24 sticker on his lawnmower. Or the folks out there who haven't yet decided if democracy is a good thing or not. Never forget this, folks, and this is a truth. Remember, I only talk truth. Never forget that fully 1/3 of the people in this country have said out loud and publicly that they would prefer to have a strong man ruling them than an elected president serving them. So, with that thought in mind, I do want to wish you all the very, very best for you, your family, and your friends. Invite your family and friends to join me here. I'd be glad to see them. The new year always holds possibilities for us all. It's been a cultural thing forever in many cultures as we consider the future. And 2024 will almost certainly be the most pivotal and important year for the United States since 1941, or even probably 1776. So please get out the vote as best you can. Volunteer to drive others. Encourage everybody in your family, all your friends. It's important. Go vote. Now we'll leave you with the words of Thomas Jefferson, who said that, quote, democracy will only work with an informed electorate. That's it. So think on that this weekend, folks. If you want to get in touch, it's Gary@thepodcast.com or the website at www.gvbrights.com. You can contact me directly. I'll be happy to have you on the podcast or to read your comments with or without attribution, as long as you're not some kind of MAGA Nazi weirdo. So I will just say one more time, I'll raise a glass to all of you. I hope you had a great Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you want to celebrate, and that you have a happy and prosperous new year. So, adios, amigos. Hey, I see you out there. Thanks so much for watching the video today. It's been a great pleasure having you here. As you can see, it's done without any polish at all from the studios here at the Worldwide Empire headquarters of the Gary Communications Network. Now, if you would like to learn more about the aforementioned Gary or the vastness of this huge empire, please go to www.gvbrights.com and check out the website. There's something there for everybody. Some great reading, pictures. There's a bit on there about the mentoring I do in Malawi and how you can help if you want to by simply downloading a book on KU. Free to you, good for them. What a deal. So thanks again. I hope you'll come see me at www.gvbrights.com and hit the subscribe button, and I'll come wash your car.